Welcome to the Lifting Lounge podcast. Join your hosts Josh Parkin and Jack Buffery as they give you the knowledge and the tools to take your physical and mental performance to the next level.
An episode like lion's mane and stuff like that is supposed to help with creativity and focus. As you can see by this episode, I have put a lot on.
I've noticed that, yeah. That's cool. So, I mean, Josh, I don't know if you want to give the listener some context or not as to what we're actually talking about.
You fucking asshole!
So I only started recording when you said about creativity and lion's mane. They didn't hear anything else so far, so it's entirely up to you.
Fuck's sake. Oh my god, you actually properly got me then.
I did.
Properly got me.
This is amazing. Well, I tell you what, let's see what happens when we get into the fit tip on this one. But for now, how are you?
Mate, I'm all right. I've had a productive morning.
Excellent.
I got up and I went for a sea swim at like 6 a.m. And I tell you what, I nearly died. I nearly died doing that. We all ran into the sea, dove in, like, oh, woo, yeah, dive into the sea, swim around a little bit, have a little bit of swim. As soon as I stop swimming and look in the water, we are surrounded by jellyfish. Loads of them, absolutely shitloads of them, and everywhere you look, oh, there's one there, oh, there's one there, oh, there's one, and all the ones that sting you as well. And I was like, how did we not hit one as we ran in? And then, because even it was all like high tide, so it was all quite shallow, and walking out right to basically up to the edge of the sea, I was like, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. I'm literally having to like walk around a minefield around all these jellyfish. So didn't die from that, which is a good start.
That's always a good thing. Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, I've managed to prep loads of food.
Nice.
Fuck off, chat. I'm talking about my day.
You rock on. You rock on.
Shut up.
Yeah. You fucking go for it, man.
I've managed to prep. I've gone. I went the other day. I went to the shop and I bought 3 lots of beans. So I got pinto beans, fucking black beans, and is it cannelli beans?
Mm-hmm.
And some red lentils. And I've made a big beef stew with all these beans in and spring greens. So I'm going Fiber City, which goes with this podcast today. I've walked the dogs, done the washing up. I've planned this podcast episode. I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
Sorry, can I talk yet?
Yeah, you can carry on now. Sorry, I thought I just...
I was only playing. No, man, that sounds good. Yeah, it's almost like you're high on life. So what I'm going to say is, if for anyone who doesn't understand the jellyfish situation, this is actually a legitimate thing. People may think he's exaggerating, but it is really not. Like, probably other people who live on warm coastal seas, possibly not so warm, we get fucking shitloads here, and big ones as well. I'll never forget, we found one on the beach when we were walking the dogs once, and it was literally the size of a trash can lid. Kimberly found it, to be honest, but I was with her when she done it, and you get some really, really big ones, and you get, what are they? What are the ones that we get here most regularly? Is it the man of wars we get here, or is it something else?
So the man of wars we do get, but they're not actually jellyfish. But they're pretty dangerous. So we do get Portuguese man of wars, but we also get these like compass jellyfish and some other ones. We get these ones with like purple on them, these ones that are brown and they sting. And then they get these giant barrel jellyfish that look like they're huge.
They're the ones
but they're
we saw,
friendly.
I think. Yeah,
they don't.
You see them on the beach and you're like, what the fuck is that? At first, like the first time you see them, you're like, is that like a clear plastic bag? And then it's like, oh, no, that is a big gelatinous creature. It's quite cool to see, actually, sometimes. It's not cool for them because they're washed up on the beach, but, you know. Okay, cool. Josh, there's been many times where you have offered me your tip, and I've just said no, because sometimes I just don't want to take it. I don't want your tip. But this time, I'm trying to teach myself more and more how to say yes to your tip, Josh. So why don't you tell me, what is your tip for the day?
That was the most subtle one yet, I think. So my tip, my fuck's sake, my fitness tip for today is to say yes more, and this works when it comes to fitness. This works when it comes to your health, but this also just works generally in life, with your social life, with everything. I'm trying to do this more now and say yes more to doing things with friends, doing exciting things, but also in the gym. If somebody says, "Go on, do you want to do this challenge?" Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to test myself. Stop saying no, I'm not. No, I'm not ready to do that yet. No, screw it. Let's just do it. See what happens.
Nice. I like it. Weirdly, I don't know, like, if do you know what inspired this, or is there anything in particular? Because very strangely, the other day, Kimberly said to me, "Should we have a weekend of just saying yes to everything?" I mean, I'm fairly confident I know the things I'm going to be asking her to do, but we will see where that goes. So, is there anything that inspired you? Hey, baby, I love you, by the way. Is there anything that inspired you to to have this yes moment?
I guess, I mean, as you know, the listeners don't know, but I've recently been away to a festival called the Do Lectures, which is in Wales, and a lot of that was just the kind of whole experience was a bit of that, just like saying yes to doing things. And the experience could have been very boring if I just said no and just didn't do anything, but I kind of just embraced it all and did a bit of everything. And I'm trying to bring some of that, and I know that itself isn't real life, but I'm trying to bring some of that into my life so I can take more enjoyment out of it in and amongst all the work and everything else. So yeah, essentially it's a lot of that, trying to, like, for instance, one of the guys I met there was like, "Oh, we should meet up, go to the pub and do origami and drink beers." And I was like, that sounds actually like it might be quite fun, even though it's weird. You know, I've never heard anybody in my life offer to do origami and drink beer. But I'm like, actually, that could be quite a wholesome evening. So stuff like that, you know, just
Sounds
saying
good.
yes more to stuff like that. And then I also realized that with the fitness side of things lately, I've been making out that I'm not capable of doing certain things, maybe due to injury or whatever, and I'm going, "Oh no, I don't have the time for that," or "Oh no, maybe I shouldn't because of this or whatever," making excuses. When actually, if I just said yes more, I would feel better about myself and feel better about doing more things. So yeah, that's kind of what brought it on.
And I really like the idea of that as well. I mean, so many people have no as the default setting because they're trapped in the holy shit, I haven't got time, or holy shit, I haven't got the energy kind of situation. But just learning to say yes a bit more, I think, is a really good shout. I'm not good at it. I'm not going to lie. But it's something I struggle with, so it's definitely something I should probably focus on. But it's definitely a good thing to do, and it's like the fact you've just been in an environment that fosters that ability. I think that's a really good thing to be. Sometimes you just need that that kind of permission to be able to say yes to stuff, and it just kicks something off. And it's always interesting as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like I understand that being at a festival volunteering somewhere is not what normal life is like, and there is a magical aspect to that, some like ethereal nature to being away and being a bit more free. But you can still bring some of that aspect home and utilize that to just enjoy your life a little bit more. So yeah, it's like kickstarted a little bit, I guess. It's sparked the fire inside of me.
Ooh, let that fire roar.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Let's go on to Geek Corner. Now, my Geek Corner today is because of a lot of engagement I've had on a post in a group that I'm a part of. So on Facebook, I'm a part of a group called My D&D Group. That's what it's called. If you don't know what D&D is, Dungeons & Dragons, massive game, but this group is humongous. It's got like 112,000 people in it. And I just put the comment in there saying, hi, everybody. How would your main character train in a gym? So whatever character you play mostly in D&D, or it could be any of your characters, really, it doesn't matter. I just put in that, how would your main character train in the gym? And Jesus Christ, there is 415 comments on this post.
God.
Of all these people. I have tried to reply to all of them, but there's a lot. But yeah, what I've done is I've scoured through them all to see ones that I've kind of really enjoyed, because these are some really funny like ideas and how fantasy characters would train in a gym. But also I think it'd be good because you've played D&D, I play D&D, and you have a character who's a specific way and is also not too dissimilar from the character I'm currently playing now. So it'd be interesting to hear your kind of thought process on how your character would train.
Yeah, of course.
But first, I'll read some of the comments. So as I said, there was 415 comments. I was never ever we're not gonna go through all of them. There's fucking shitloads. But I've got a few of them here. So one of them I thought was really funny. It was, my fairy barbarian would approach the deadlift area while using enlarge on his last step for the drama. So a fairy is obviously tiny. Barbarians are known for their rage, melee combat, all of that sort of stuff. But on the last, I just like the idea of on the last step, just going absolutely huge and then deadlifting.
As what a character build, man. A fairy barbarian. That is so fucking cool. What does that remind me of? There's something in my head. I can hear it in my voice. Oh, I tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Baby Groot going rah when I think of fairy barbarian. That's amazing. That is cool.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like that a lot.
So another comment here is he's tabaxi. So tabaxi is like a feline person, so they could be a cat or a lion, tiger, whatever. And so it's mostly agility courses. So agility courses, which is pretty cool. So I imagine like Ninja Warrior-esque running around courses. But then I just thought this would be really funny. So imagine you walk into a gym, right? And you look up to the window at the top and it says, and cleaning himself in a high window. So there's this... So you just walk into the gym, there's this like cat human sat in the top window just licking their balls and then just running around the course.
And just head in between his legs. I didn't know. I read this comment about 10 minutes before we started recording. I didn't know what a tabaxi was. And I was like, cleaning himself in a high window. And in my head, I was thinking, does he mean like doing a muscle up through an open window or something like that? I couldn't work out what it meant, but now it makes all the sense now you've said that. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, perfect. And the next comment here is a perfect example of how different classes can be. So we've got two classes here, and the comment was, my paladin would use all of the resistance machines in muscle group order from top to bottom for the perfect workout. Right, so very meticulous, very regimented. This is what my paladin would do. They'd pick everything out, and I'm going to do this, and this. And then another kind of strength-based character said, my barbarian would hit the tire with the mallet for an hour.
Yeah, sounds about right, to be fair.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah. So yeah, which I quite like that. A lot of these comments, and what this actually surprised me actually. And I really like it, is there's a lot of these people who are inherently geeky like us actually had some kind of idea on how classes would train in the gym. They had a kind of an idea of like how they would move depending on if they were a rogue or if they were a fighter or whatever they were. And the last one here I've got is a really fucking good quote.
This is my favorite one that I've seen.
Yeah, this is such a good quote, and I was like, I'm got to take this because this is absolutely amazing. And the quote is, gyms are for those with no one left to fight. The battlefield is my dojo.
That is amazing. I mean, I want that on a t-shirt. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That is such a
Yep.
good quote. You need to
That-
give that guy a shout out on that Facebook group, I think, because that is absolutely epic. What a quote. I like them all.
Yeah,
I like them
it's
all.
a great quote. So go on, Jack. What would your character, and is it Benipe? Is the name of your character?
Yeah. So Benipe means iron in ancient Egyptian as well. So basically, like that's yeah. There you go. So pretty much, I mean, I really like that battlefield cry. I want to nick that because that is the sort of thing he would train at. But in my head as well, it's like do it. So one thing that we didn't quite get around to my character's arc in the game is there's a bit of backstory to him as well. So his kind of training would have been like living up in the mountains, chopping down trees and building himself a log cabin and walking around with entire trees on his shoulders because he was part ethereal god type thing as well. So he was just strong, badass, and he was like trying to be with nature, but he had a massive chip on his shoulder and he had revenge in his blood as well. So he was angry about quite a lot of stuff. But yeah, that's it. He wasn't the cleverest or the sharpest tool in the box, so he might have hurt himself every now and then. But that is the kind of thing in nature, just lifting stuff, ripping tree roots out like with his bare hands and stuff like that. That's how he would have trained.
So like Rocky 4 on steroids.
Yes, definitely like Rocky 4 on steroids. What about you? I don't even know what character build you've got at the moment, if I'm honest.
So my main character currently, she is called Glenda Thunderrump, and
Nice.
and
What a character.
Yep, yeah. She is a GIF, and a GIF are hippo people. So she's a hippo person, but she's also a barbarian as well. But the build is that she's smart. She's a smart barbarian, so her intelligence is really high. And she's like kind of like the mother figure of this pirate crew that she's a part of. So she's really sweet and lovely, but then she gets really protective and angry. But she's absolutely huge. So I would say, like, the woman lately who has been winning the powerlifting competitions. I need to get her up. She's been doing the women's powerlifting, broke world records. She's a black lady and she's like super sassy when she gets up and like deadlifts. She's fucking so funny. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. And I'm just gonna get it. I'm just looking it up now. It's really annoying me that I don't know her name. Tamara Walcott.
Tamara Walcott. Oh, yeah, I can see her right now. What the hell?
Yeah.
641 pound deadlift. Get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but she is like how I would imagine Glenda training. She's like proper, like fierce sass, but strong as fuck. Just gets up, deadlifts, like lifts heavy shit. So that's how Glenda would train. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, go on, girl. I'm watching a video right now of her getting into that deadlift. Look at the size of her traps and shoulders. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, she is strong as fuck.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what you're...
She's awesome.
She is strong as hell.
Yeah.
641 pounds. Go on, girl. Straight up. I like it. That's really nice, man.
Yeah.
Jesus. She beat that record by 15 pounds. Fair play to her.
Wow, she's strong. Yeah, so I mean, if you don't know who Tamara Walcott is and you want some inspiration, look her up. She is strong as heck. She's awesome.
That is really, really cool. I like that.
But yeah, that's what mine would do. Yeah, definitely.
If you had to be a D&D character, and I think we might have talked about this before, if you had to be a D&D character and take on their physical traits, what one would you go for? We have talked about this before, but now let's look at it through the lens of you've got you don't just automatically get them, but that's what your life training has to be once you become that character. Because obviously no one gets these physical traits for free.
So do you mean like a class or a race? Do you mean like a paladin barbarian fighter, or do you mean...
Yeah, probably a class, to be honest, because the race would be a bit more of your natural gifts, wouldn't it? I guess so. Yeah, what kind of class would you go for?
My class, I imagine, would be.
Actually, yeah, that's a good thing. So just
It
assume
would,
you're a human. Yeah, assume you're a human and go for whatever class you
yeah,
would. Yeah.
yeah. So my class would be probably. I wouldn't mind being a rogue and just being very acrobatic and stealthy, and you know that would be pretty cool. I think. Yeah.
To be honest, I think mine would be the same as well. I think the rogue is quite cool. Although I can't remember. I'm not going to lie. It's been so long since I've played D&D. I can't even remember all the different classes. So yeah, I'd have to look into that. That could be something we revisit again in the future, just to make sure of that.
Definitely. So let's move on to our fit talk. And my fit talk question for today is: do you even supplement, bro? Do you even supplement? And I want to know what has been the most effective supplement you have taken in your time on this earth. What has been the most effective supplement?
Creatine, to be honest, like simple as, yeah, it's the one I've been most consistent with. I don't take many supplements at all. I'd say in terms of noticeable stuff, it would have to be the my brain pills that I take, because I haven't actually taken any today, which is why I can't remember what they're called. Mind Lab Pro, and I know you've just started on Lion's Mane. This has got like Lion's Mane, cytocholine, load of B vitamins in it, L-theanine, rhodiola, and stuff like that. And these things, like I notice a difference when I take them. I get into a workflow really well, which is awesome. So I'd say those two, but those pills are quite freaking expensive. And but creatine, I mean, that's just my go-to. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, creatine is definitely something I've seen a difference from. What I notice with creatine is I definitely feel like I get more of a pump, or I feel thicker when I'm especially if I'm doing bodybuilding style of training. I really feel a difference with that. My recovery is not bad anyway, so I never really noticed a recovery issue. When I was doing high reps training with creatine, I definitely felt like I could get through a set a lot easier. My endurance generally is pretty shit. Either that's my endurance or it's my grit, but I definitely found on creatine I could get through a set a lot easier. I didn't fatigue as quickly.
I'm not gonna lie, because I've been on it so consistently for so long now, I actually don't realize what differences are. That being said, the tipping point for me starting creatine was this was years and years ago. I was using Muscle Foods all-in-one protein powder, and I started to get jacked, like really, really well, like more so than I'd ever done on any type of protein powder. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this stuff is amazing. I didn't realize that in the ingredients, they had creatine in it. And that was what the big difference was. So it's not a miracle supplement by any means, but Jesus Christ, it will make a difference to your training and to your results as well, because the output is higher. If you're just coming onto it, your recovery is usually better. So yeah, it's actually it does make a difference, and I noticed that from quite a small serving size. It's whatever was in that all-in-one shake back then, and I was like, shit. Like, I did, because I almost had a bit of a stigma against creatine back then. This was a long time ago. This is probably like 2016 or so, something like that. And I was like, oh no, it's kind of cheating. But that was before I realized that it was the most researched supplement on the planet. So yeah, I would definitely say creatine, especially when I first started it, but I've just been consistently on it ever since. I do, however, know, if I was to speak from Kimberly's point of view, she's been taking magnesium recently, which has been really helping with her energy levels. So that's interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I know that is a very effective one as well.
Oh, that is interesting, actually. That's cool. Yeah. The reason I brought this up as well is because as we have kind of talked about briefly on this episode so far, I have started taking lion's mane. And I'm not sure on how quickly it does take effect. Some things say it might take a couple of days. Some things say it might take a couple of weeks, depending on the situation. And I'm never sure on what's placebo and what's not. But I'm interested to see the effect of lion's mane in terms of my focus, creativity, all of that sort of stuff. So it will be interesting with stuff like lion's mane and all of these newer supplements that are coming out, these more natural supplements that people are pushing more. I'm always skeptical.
Newer / probably the oldest supplement in the world. But yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what I mean, though, but they're now making waves.
Yeah, we wouldn't have heard about it 10 years ago, probably 5 years ago either, to be honest. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But yeah, I've always been a bit skeptical of everything, and I think I will see if it does have any effect, if any at all. Who knows? I've probably done it at the wrong time as well, because I am also making everything else healthier in my life. So I won't know if it's just an effect of everything else being healthier or the supplement itself. So we'll see.
But you can play this the other way then, can't you? In that case, is like give it like 2 or 3 months, see how, like, you'll definitely feel better in 2 or 3 months, and then try taking something out bit by bit instead of keeping it, and see if it makes a difference when you just eliminate it for like a week or so, and that way you'll be able to gauge the results without feeling like shit. So yeah, so there is, it depends what the goal is. Some people will try and just add things one at a time to see what's making a difference. But if you want all the effects now, like, do what you're doing and then just try removing it later down the line, see if you notice any negative effects. I think it's just as good a way to play it. Yeah, that's really good. I'm very keen on, I've mentioned this before, I wouldn't mind like taking out some of the ingredients of these and trying them individually in different doses to see how they affect me, to see whether there is one key component in this. Because if I take 2 of these pills, I will go into like a flow state within about 15 minutes, and I would just start riffing on my work, and I'll just get really into it. And it could be anything. So the irony is, if I was distracted, I could get really into what I was distracted by as well. So let's say I was going to take a couple of those pills and then jump on Tears of the Kingdom. I would get very much into it and just go into that kind of flow state with Tears of the Kingdom. It literally, it will put you in tune with kind of whatever task that you're doing, which is something I really like.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's very similar to, I have a friend, I won't mention her name, but they used to take modafinil at uni.
What's modafinil?
And modafinil is it's a narcolepsy drug. But what people do, if you don't have narcolepsy, if you take it first thing in the morning, whatever you start to focus on, you basically zone in on that for the entire day. And it can go, he used to take modafinil in the morning, do his dissertation, and then at night smoke a joint and then go to sleep, because if not, he'd get heart palpitations. So,
okay.
Yeah. But he got his work done like pretty fast, and he did well with it. But it seems like that's very similar in this like flow state thing. If you've got to make sure you're directing the focus in the right direction, because he said if he didn't get on the work straight away, he could scroll on Facebook so intently for the entire day.
It makes sense. I mean, it's not quite to those degrees, I'm guessing, the stuff that I use, but it's along those lines. Like if I whatever I'm doing, I will get into that flow state of. One of the things I have noticed the most of it, and it'd be interesting to see whether you get this from the lion's mane, is my memory does tend to be better, especially whilst I am. If I have these, because they've got L-theanine in it as well. So we've spoken about L-theanine before on the sleep episode. So what theanine does is it kind of regulate. This is a very simplistic version of it, but it regulates what you're doing at that moment. So for instance, a lot of people will take theanine with magnesium threonate. So the magnesium threonate actually helps you get to sleep. It helps you regulate sleep better. And theanine actually regulates the release of that and the structure of that whilst you're sleeping. So the magnesium threonate will help you get to sleep. The theanine will help you have a better night's sleep. It will help you keep in that sleep. Whereas with this, because the memory is improved with the lion's mane and stuff like that, and then I think it's got whatever it is, the rhodiola and stuff, and the cytocodine. If I have that, because there's no stimulants in this, if I have that with a coffee, the L-theanine will then mellow out, but give the high less of a curve. So instead of just taking it all, having a coffee, and it being a sharp up and then a sharp down, it will have a gradual up and then like a steady downward curve. So it will just give you that nice state of mind for a bit longer, which would be. I've definitely noticed that as well, just staying in the zone for a bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. That's awesome. So yeah, supplements can be good. Supplements can be just useless. I wouldn't say supplements can be bad. There's not many out there that are like proper bad, and if they are, they usually get taken off shelves. So
Tren.
Supplements, I would say, yeah, Tren. I mean, but Tren's good in some cases. So let's move on to study time now. Get our lab coats on, and this is just going to be a quick study today because our hot topic is going to be quite a big one, I think. So the study today, and this is a fairly obvious, I think, for most people, but I just like to use ones like this because it just cements it in there. And the study says that physical activity is crucial for post-stroke recovery. I've got a little excerpt here that I'm going to read, and I'll just go through that now quick. So, after a stroke, physical activity can be pivotal to successful recovery. People who spend 4 hours a week exercising after their stroke achieve better functional recovery within 6 months than those who do not, a University of Gothenburg study shows. The study, now published in a scientific journal, JAMA Network Open, is based on data concerning 1,500 stroke patients in 35 Swedish hospitals. The participants were grouped according to their post-stroke patterns of physical activity. The results showed that increased or maintained physical activity with 4 hours exercise weekly doubled the patient's chances of recovering well by 6 months after a stroke. Men and people with normal cognition kept up an active life relatively more often, with better recovery as a result. Which is what I like about this. Before I move on to the next bit, what I like about this is it's saying like 4 hours a week as well. I mean, some people will just think that being active once or twice is good, but 4 hours a week, which I think is really an optimal amount of time to train anyway for everybody. 4 hours a week not only is good, but it doubles the patient's chances of recovery, which is insane, really. To double it is pretty nuts. So, moving on to the next bit, positive programming from exercise. The researchers have previously succeeded in demonstrating a clear inverse association between physical activity and the severity of stroke symptoms at the actual onset of the condition. These new findings highlight the importance of maintaining a healthy, active lifestyle after a stroke. The first and corresponding author of the study, I can't pronounce that name, Dongni Buvar, is a researcher in clinical neuroscience at Sahlgrenska Academy. Just absolutely destroying these names. University of Gothenburg. Beside her research internship, she is a resident doctor at an initial stage of specialist training at Sahlgrenska University Hospital. Physical activity reprograms both the brain and the body favorably after a stroke. Exercise improves the body's recovery at the cellular level, boosts muscle strength and well-being, and reduces the risk of falls, depression, and cardiovascular disease. Regardless of how severe the stroke has been, those affected can derive benefits from exercising more, she says. And that's a good point, is that exercise isn't only good for your body, for being stronger and being fitter, but it actually works the brain as well. And I was kind of thinking about how it must be a lot to play with, like getting the nervous system working and that muscle connectivity and proprioception, and how that is so good for the brain that it keeps the brain working and actually trains it, you know? So it's like doing the, you know, remember on the DS, you used to have the brain training you could do where it's kind of similar to that, where the brain is having to work because you're having to try and connect to musculature. And after a stroke, that might be harder to connect to musculature. So you have to work the brain a little bit harder.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And again, like, because it's all exercise and getting your body to work is all about building connections and making those connections stronger between your brain and your body. So it just makes sense, doesn't it, of that sort of thing, especially when you're talking like a rehab sort of thing. There is something at the end of this study that says one weakness of the study is that, with a few exceptions, the researchers were unable to study the participants' degree of activity before the stroke. So all I would say to that is just limit the chances of everything and just start exercising now. Like, don't wait until you have a stroke for it. Let's start exercising now, 4 hours a week. Get ahead of all of these things as much as you can, and that's going to limit the risk of having stroke and all these other terrible things anyway. So yeah, that's, like you said, it seems obvious, but when a lot of these things that seem obvious, because it's obvious, people don't think into why. And it is really good to just to have as many reasons as you can in your head for getting some workout and staying fit and healthy.
Definitely, 100%. So yeah, don't wait to have a stroke to exercise, is what we're saying.
Yeah, perfect.
So let's move on to our hot topic. And our hot topic today is all about one thing, and that one thing only, and that is fiber. I don't know if we've actually done an episode yet on breaking down fiber, so I thought, it's a really good time to do it. One, because I just put a load of beans in a slow cooker, but two, because fiber is actually majorly beneficial to our health. So my result out of today is to give you the knowledge of what fiber is and how to utilize it. The driver is because it's an extremely important proponent of health. And our actions are, we're going to teach you about fiber and provide you with a list of ways in which you can use it, or where you can get it from, essentially. So I have a bunch of, as you can see, Jack, from the episode's notes, I have a lot of shit to go through today, but it's actually not that hard. All I'm going to do is explain the two types of fiber there's two types of fiber. There's insoluble and a soluble fiber. And I'm going to explain what they are. And then we're going to go over the benefits of each, and then where we can get each of those fibers from. And then after that, we're going to go over the supplements that potentially you can get if you're struggling to get fiber in your diet generally. Obviously, Jack, if you have anything to say as I go through all of this, just chime in. Do your thing. Yeah, fiber. Two types of fiber, I think I've alluded to that just now, is insoluble fiber and soluble fiber. Insoluble fiber, which is the first thing we'll go over, is a type of dietary fiber that's found in plant-based foods that cannot be dissolved or broken down in water or by the digestive system. I imagine it as like this like brick that just kind of moves through your gut and pushes everything up. That's how I see it. It's not like that, but that's how I imagine it. Instead, it remains relatively intact as it passes through your digestive tract, and it's mainly composed of cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. Now, if you don't know what they are, they're essentially what makes up like plant structure in the cells. And you don't really need to know that. We're not going to go into a biology lesson here. It's more just breaking down what insoluble fiber is. It is extremely important, and if we want to have a healthy digestive system, okay? So it is a thing that we want to be making sure we're getting in. There is also soluble fiber. So soluble fiber is another type that you can get from plant-based foods. But soluble fiber absorbs water, forms a gel-like substance. I imagine it like a gelatinous cube from D&D. Just like sucks everything in. And it can help slow down your digestion and have other beneficial effects. It can like suck things in. And I imagine it as like I have weird analogies in my head for this, but I imagine it as like the toothbrush for your gut.
That's a good shout. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, so that's that's fair.
Now, fiber is. Go on, Jack. You were going to say something.
No. You rock on.
Yeah. So the first we'll go over the benefits of insoluble fiber, and then we'll go over the benefits of soluble fiber. So the benefits of insoluble fiber are, firstly, it promotes regular bowel movements. So it actually adds bulk to your shit. It makes your shit thick, which is great. You want a bulky poo. So that's going to give you
Jesus Christ.
give you regular bowel movements and alleviate. Hey, look, if we're talking about fiber, we're going to be talking about poo. All right, that's essentially what it's about.
Yeah, definitely.
It also helps alleviate constipation. So if you're a bit blocked up, first pull out the butt plug and then have some fiber.
That's words to live by.
Yeah. Next, it supports gut health, so improving your digestive system. It is considered as a prebiotic, so it is beneficial to your gut bacteria, and it helps build that and make them healthier. Can help prevent diverticular disease. So I don't know if you've ever heard of diverticulitis.
No.
Brock Lesnar is a famous UFC fighter. He has diverticulitis, and diverticular, like small pouches that form on the colon wall, and they can inflame and cause discomfort and complications. So having fiber can help prevent that. I mean, if you already have it, I think you already have it. I think it's one of those things, but it can help prevent stuff like that from happening. Fiber, as we know and as we've alluded to before, helps with weight management. Insoluble fiber, some of these benefits do cross over from both, which is standard. It helps control your blood sugar, is good for your heart, and has the potential to prevent colon cancer. So great. All good reasons to take insoluble fiber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. And like one of the biggest differences I've seen with my clients here is where it comes to the blood sugar control. And that in turn then has a direct effect on the weight management as well, because if you're low on fiber, then your blood sugar is going to be all over the place, which is then going to encourage cravings, etc., and like which has a direct effect on your willpower as well, which is where it comes to snacking, cravings, shit like that. So it's definitely been the blood sugar control thing that I have seen so much almost immediate differences with my clients with. And then obviously all the other good stuff comes along with it. But just getting your fiber sorted out, you'll probably feel like, oh, cool. My energy is more of a smooth ride rather than a shitload of ups and downs during the day.
Yep, perfect. So soluble fiber, we're going to the benefits of that now. And pretty much the same across the board for soluble fiber. One being is improved digestive health, but not so much in the same way that insoluble does. So insoluble bulks up your poo, but then soluble softens it. So you get big and squishy, and then it's easier to pass through. So you don't get stuck in there.
If you've ever had
brilliant.
a over influx of soluble fiber and you look at the poop after, you can tell. It's,
yeah.
Especially if you've had fats as well, like it's almost got like a resin coat on it and it will just fire at your ass like a torpedo. So yeah, it's it's fine.
Such a graphic episode today. So
we're literally
then
talking
we've got
shit.
Heart health again. Yeah, we are talking shit. I like that. So insoluble fiber also has the potential to lower your LDL cholesterol by binding the cholesterol in. It binds to cholesterol in the digestive tract and basically shits it out. So that's another thing that's good for. It's good for your blood sugar management, weight management again. When it comes to weight management with fiber, one, because it improves your digestion, but also fiber fills you up, which is it stops you from being super hungry because it slows your digestion down. So that's why one of the reasons why it helps in weight management. Then not only does it balances out your gut microbiota. So fiber is a food source for gut microbiome, for the gut microbiome, sorry, should I say. And it kind of feeds all of that and makes it healthier. And as we've known from a few of the studies in like early episodes that we've looked at, the more research they're doing into the gut biome, the more they're seeing how important your gut health is just for your entire body, whether brain health or any other part of yourself. So making sure your gut biome's healthy is super important. Then it's going to potentially reduce the risk of certain diseases like type 2 diabetes, certain types of cancers, and has some research showing that it might reduce the risk of a stroke. And we've just seen that when we've just had a study on the stroke, nobody wants to have a stroke really. So let's reducing the risk of diseases is super important. And then there is research to show that it lowers your blood pressure and could lower your inflammation as well. So soluble fiber also super, super important. Making sure we get that in.
There's a couple of points on this, and in a couple of upcoming episodes, there's going to be a couple of bits I touch on this as well. I really want to just quickly speak about the gut microbiota because the relation to this and certain diseases, I think, as a scientific field, we've probably only just scratched the surface of it. The link between the microbiome in the gut and the brain, we still don't understand it. Like there's a large portion of it that we do not understand how it all links together, but we do know that it is very much linked together. So if fiber is helping you regulate this gut microbiome, this is also affecting things that are happening with your brain and the rest of your body as well. And the fact that it's the very fact that it is giving these health benefits, again, I just don't think we understand everything about it yet. So this is where it's good to just try to mitigate any risk and actually get your fiber intake up. Is one of the most important reasons, not just for like the immediate reasons as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good us explaining what fiber is and telling you all the benefits. But if you don't know where to get your fiber from, this is of absolutely no use for you. And we like to give people actual actionable information. So we're going to give you here a list of insoluble fiber sources and soluble fiber sources. So you can, if you've got a pen and paper, get it now, write it down. When this episode comes out, we will most likely do a live training on this topic on our Facebook group, and the next day do a giveaway of all the sources of fiber that you can get. So if you are not a part of our Facebook group yet, go find that Facebook group because we'll be giving away a list of all these sources, or get a pen and paper now and write it down. So I'll go over the insoluble fiber sources, and then Jack, if you want to do the soluble ones, that'd be great. It's very simple, and some of these, as with everything, as with the benefits, some of these will cross over, but that's fine. So soluble fiber sources, essentially there's whole grains. Any form of whole grains that you eat are good insoluble fiber sources. Wheat, bran, nuts and seeds. Essentially, veg is always going to be a good source of fiber. Lots of vegetables. Fruit skins, and you've said this a lot, Jack, is not peeling your fruit, making sure you eat the fruit skins. Obviously, don't eat a banana skin or an orange skin, but like apple skin, stuff like that. Eat the skins of your apples.
Same with potatoes as well. I think potato skins have a lot of more fiber in them. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I when I'm making mash, for example, I never peel the potatoes. Like I always get the skin in there as well, just to make sure I'm getting all the benefits.
Yes, great. And then legumes, so plenty of beans. I got all my legumes. I'm going on about legumes today. I'm loving them. root vegetables, making sure you're getting lots of root vegetables in. The cabbage family, essentially, apparently, is big on insoluble fiber. So that's cabbage, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, etc. They're all got a good amount of insoluble fiber in. Cucumbers, which I didn't actually know, so this is new to me. I didn't know cucumbers are high in insoluble fiber. And popcorn. So if you love the cinema, popcorn's great for insoluble fiber.
I mean, it depends. So when you see popcorn eaten as a health food, that is usually popcorn with maybe like a little bit of cinnamon or something shaken over it, not necessarily sticky toffee like caramel stuff, but it's all good. But yeah, that's really good. I also did not know about cucumbers. I thought cucumbers were literally just water that had somehow turned green. But yeah, that is that's interesting. And yeah, the cabbage family as well. That makes sense. So that's really good. Like the legumes or the root veg and the fruit skins and the nuts and seeds, all of these things, they're gonna really, really help get that insoluble fiber up. So yeah, I'll go over the soluble fiber sources as well. I mean, you've got things like oats and barley, and like the insolubles where you've got legumes, you've got a supplement that we've spoken about quite a few times, which is the psyllium husk. Then you've got, what is that word, Josh? I don't even know what that is. Is that supposed to be fruits? I was like, is that something I've never heard of before? Yeah, so you got the standard, the fruits, the veggies. And then you've got things like chia seeds and flax seeds. And now these are a great way to get a little bit of extra fiber in, especially if you're having something like oats in the morning. Then you can shake a little bit of flaxseed and chia seed in as well, or into your, if you're having a smoothie, you can shake it into that as well. I don't know what the other one is. What's guar gum?
Well, I didn't know what it was either until I looked it up. And it is like almost a supplement that you can sprinkle into stuff. So it's almost like
nice.
Chia seeds, flax seeds. And it's just from guar beans. So it's just an extract from guar beans, which I never even knew were a thing until I did plan this episode.
That's cool. Oh, I've learned something new today as well. So, and then you've got seaweed as well. So, yeah, seaweed is a really good source. And seaweed is something that I always think to myself, I should eat more, but I always forget when it comes to doing my shopping, because seaweed has so many fucking health benefits. It is absolutely mental. I reckon that there will be a seaweed craze soon. It's been a craze in some kind of areas and fitness niches, but I reckon seaweed's time is coming, and we're going to see like a big surge of that at some point, or a big wave. Let's say a big wave of that at some point.
Hey.
Also, things like sprouts and other veggies, avocado as well. I know it's got soluble fiber in it as well. So all of these things, and you just want to be getting a good mix of the two as well. So you don't want all soluble or all insoluble. You want to be getting a mix. And luckily, most things do have a mix of them as well, which is really good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like with everything, you want a good variety of things, not just focusing on one, not just eating popcorn. I know I put that in there. It's more of like a fun thing, but don't just think that, I can get away just eating popcorn all the time because it's got fiber in it. No, you need a mix of stuff. Fiber is not the only thing you need, but it is helpful. So we've got a few supplements
popcorn
here.
Popcorn is a really healthy snack. If you are literally just popping the corn, I'm just getting the nutrition value up of it now. So per 100 grams, it's only 375 calories. It's got a load of potassium in it. It's only got 74, well, I say only, it's got 74 grams of carbohydrates. So it's got 13 grams of fiber and 100 grams of popcorn, which is, that's close to being half of what your RDA is, which is really good. And then it just depends what else you put on it. It's got some decent levels of iron, magnesium, and vitamin B's in it. And so it is actually really healthy as long as you're not overly sweetening that. So if you do have those crunchy cravings, then just pop some popcorn fresh and sprinkle maybe a little bit of salt or a little bit of cinnamon and salt over it, and it's going to satisfy you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if for some reason you don't have access to any of these natural sources of fiber. So you don't have access to any vegetables, fruits, wheat, nuts, whole grains, legumes, all of that stuff. If you don't have access to any of this stuff, then there are supplements you can get. And there's a few fiber supplements I've got here. I did have a bigger list, but I thought, we don't need that many. And with all of these supplements, what I will suggest is if you have diabetes or any gastrointestinal issues, always consult your doctor first, because some of these can have an adverse effect, especially if you have like any gastrointestinal issues like IBS or Crohn's or anything along those lines. You need to make sure you're checking the right people first. We're not doctors, but we do know if for the average Joe, this stuff can help. So the fiber supplements are psyllium husk, which we have mentioned before. Psyllium husk you can get basically from any natural food store. You can just buy a bag, a big bag of it for pretty cheap. You can get it in tablet form and take it that way, but I suggest just getting a bag of it and then just adding it to water yourself and drinking it. It's just as easy as that. Then you've got methyl cellulose, which is another supplement, and inulin. And I heard of inulin before, actually, and I was looking this up and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this now. And inulin is a great supplement and is quite cheap. You can get it with most supplement companies now. Then you got acacia fiber, which is another good fiber supplement, and wheat dextrin. Wheat dextrin is another one you can get pretty cheap as well through like bulk powders or MyProtein or something along those lines. These are all fiber supplements that you can take if you want to, and if you are unable to get enough fiber throughout your day just through natural sources. We would always suggest natural sources first, because not only do they come with fiber, but it will come with other benefits in terms of micronutrients and macronutrients, and along those lines. You're going to get more of a variety of stuff from that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing with fiber, and when you're having a lot of fiber, and what you really need to make sure of is that you're staying well hydrated. If you are consuming a lot of fiber and you're not, and you're right there.
Yeah, this is just the best point in the world, though, because I'll let you finish what you're saying first, and then I'll say why.
Yeah. So you need to make sure you're staying well hydrated when you're consuming fiber, or problems can happen. And why is that, Jack?
Because if you've ever been curious what it's like to give birth out of your anus, then this is the best way to test it out. Have a shitload of fiber and don't drink any water, and you'll be surprised at how much pain can happen of something coming out of your body that isn't blood.
Nice.
Yeah, like I remember. I still remember to this day when I was very young, and I like it was an experience. It stuck with me.
Yeah, did it?
It can be painful. Basically, you've got the everything is compacted together very tightly, and there's nothing to help soften it up with the soluble fiber as well. So remember, soluble fiber is the one that gives it like the gelatinous kind of compound to it, whereas the insoluble is the one that makes it firm. But if you're dehydrated, you're not going to have enough water to make that soluble fiber do its job and become like that gelatinous sheath. So it's just a painful experience.
Yeah, definitely, and we don't want that. So how much would we recommend, Jack? How much would we recommend in terms of fiber intake?
400 grams.
400 grams of fiber. Yeah. So You heard it here first, people. 400 grams of fiber. Get that in. That's the end of the episode. See, no joking.
Do you know what? I'm really
Imagine.
hoping now that someone doesn't in the future say, "Oh, I can't remember what you said. It was either 30 grams or it's 400." I'm going to try 400 just to be on the safe side. No, it's 30 grams, people. So yeah, if you take 400, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's probably not going to be very nice. So 30 grams per day, and like Josh said earlier on, if you can get this through whole foods like your fruits and your veggies and stuff like that, then that is great. Try as much as you can to do that. One thing I will say is if you're tracking through something like MyFitnessPal, a lot of these foods are entered by just general public, and there's a lot of foods on there that the fiber hasn't been put on for. So if you're saying have a handful of blueberries and it's coming up as 0 fiber, then it's just because someone hasn't put the fiber on there. So it can sometimes be worth just having a little look to see how much you're getting to get a rough idea. That way, if you are tracking, you'll know that you have had a certain amount as opposed to relying on MyFitnessPal to try and calculate it all for you. It's an unfortunate thing. Usually most people just put in the top 3 macros unless something's verified, in which case everything will be in there.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Jack, I think that's great. I think that's all of the fiber intake for people, information wise, done. So we've given them their recommended dose of actions, and they can go and act on that.
Excellent.
So
may your shit be perfect for the rest of your life.
Yes, that's what we're bringing to you. Good shit, just good shit. So, Jack,
go on. Yeah, but I really hope this is a relevant joke as well.
Oh, do you know what? I didn't think of that. Shit. Oh well,
okay. Go on.
Too late now. What are the 3 shortest words in the English language?
I don't know.
Is it in?
I like it. I mean, I've never heard them, Josh, personally, so just saying.
No, you just spoke it a lot.
In the case of the fiber, though, is it out yet? But you know that as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is good. I look forward to these jokes. I know our listeners do as well. But Josh, why don't you tell the lovely listeners where they can find us and also what they can find on our Facebook page?
So they can find us at RDA Strength System on Instagram and TikTok. On Facebook, we are the RDA System. I'm just double checking that. I always forget, and it's really bad. Yeah, the RDA Strength System, on Facebook. Our Facebook group, which you can join right now, right this second. Go join our Facebook group, is the Lifting Lounge. Go and join it. Do it as I'm talking to you right now. Get on your phone. Join the Facebook group, the Lifting Lounge. So we give away free information, do live trainings. We'll be doing a live training tonight on fiber, most likely. And then we also have a YouTube channel now where we do all things YouTube. We've got a video form of this podcast. If you have not seen a video form yet, it's the same thing, but just with 2 sexy men. And also on our website now, we have a 1 rep max calculator. So if you are wanting to figure out what your 1 rep max is, and you know, for instance, how much weight you can lift for 5 reps of a lift, then we have a 1 rep max calculator that will work that out for you, what your max weight is. And am I right, Jack, in saying we have a macro calculator now?
We have a calorie calculator and a TDEE calculator, a BMR calculator, and a macro calculator. We got all the calculators. So at the moment, just click on the calculators page. The one I will actually put these in their own thing, so they're a bit easier to find. But you've got the 1 rep max calculator at the top. You've got the BMR and TDEE calculator next. and then you've got the macro calculator underneath that. So I will I'll add some text on there to let you know how to use all of these things. But the macro calculator is quite cool. If you've got a total calorie goal that you want to hit, then you put that in the top, and then you use the sliders to work out your protein, carbs, and fats, and it will calculate how many grams and how many calories of each macro that you're actually going to need as well. So, we just want to make shit as easy as possible for you. So go have a play with that, see what you can do. And if you have any questions, as always, you can reach us through the Facebook group. But also, guys, wherever you're listening to us, you know the score by now. I would like you to leave a 5-star rating and review. Share it with as many people as possible. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. All those different things you can do on different platforms. If you haven't gone onto each and every single one of our platforms and left a review, a like, and all of that shit, I will personally message you on Facebook and tell you to buck up your ideas. So let's get it done.
Yeah, buddy. Okay. Buddy.
Guys, until next time, we will see you on episode 59.
59.
59. That's good.
Wow.
We've got to be approaching the 100-hour mark of recordings now. It's going to be like, I reckon by 75, I reckon that'll be roughly about 100 hours worth of recording.
Yeah. Epic.
Alrighty, guys. Until next time, we will see you soon.
Bye.